I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
You know, people will look at this as one of the greatest events in human history. By far an event better than the invention of the telegram, the automobile. This is something to behold. And now I'm going to be doing a 2-for-1 combo, if you will, a double feature. The event only known as Barbenheimer, one of the greatest masterpieces the world has ever seen. I'm going to start off with dinner, then I'm going to finish with dessert. So I'm going to do Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. I gotta tell you, Oppenheimer was really something to behold. The fact that a movie of this scale came out in the summer, I am surprised. The fact that, the usual summer movie is a blockbuster, a high thrill, octane adventure, and this is basically just like a slow movie about a bunch of guys talking about like building a bomb. Like, that is so funny to me that this has become one of the greatest hits of this summer right now. And I gotta tell you, it's well deserved because Christopher Nolan has done it again. This movie is spectacular. It is amazing. The type of drama is absolutely incredible. The scenes about every single scene in this movie is absolutely suspenseful and intense, and just watching the characters in general is just amazing. The actors and actresses that play their roles in this are spectacular. And I just love, like, the actor that plays J. Robert Oppenheimer is absolutely spectacular. He plays his role to perfection. I love the way he has so much emotion for every single scene that he's in, especially before and after the bomb and after it's used, seeing how he reacts to it afterwards. It's jaw-dropping. It is absolutely an amazing work that he did for this movie. And along with that, I like the fact that this movie is just solely based on his perspective, because I know a lot of people are complaining, saying, we didn't get to see much of, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, or other characters such as his wife and all that. And I think they're kind of missing the point a little bit, because with this movie, we're supposed to just see it from Oppenheimer's perspective about how he is, it's his vision on life, about how the war was, about how he created the atomic bomb, and that was like his greatest and how it was like his greatest creation. And I really like how the movie has like a really dramatic sense to it, to where every single because it really is his movie, and I just think it's incredible how they made it. I will say there are some slow parts to this that are, might turn a few people off, because a lot of this movie is really just talking and just a lot of just board meetings and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. I just feel like some people might get bored with that. And me personally, I didn't, except for after, the usage of the atomic bomb, because after, I totally would have been fine if the movie ended with, the atomic bombs dropping and his reaction to it. I would have been fine. But we have an extra 45 minutes, hour or so of his hearing. And I'm not saying the extra hour is bad, but I'm not saying, maybe if they just cut it, then I still would have loved it either way. I just feel like after that is just a little bit slow, which isn't too much of a problem, but it's really noticeable whenever you could tell at some points you're kind of just moving along with this. But overall, this was an amazing movie. Although the parts that I really did notice was because I don't know what said it, but I know Christopher Nolan, what he did was with the black and white scenes, that was real life. That actually happened. And with, the colored part that we see, that is, supposedly what happened, but with a little bit of creative, ness, because we don't exactly know what fully happened in his life for Oppenheimer. And I really think that's pretty cool. I like how they have showing you what really happened and what supposedly did or did not. I wish there was a way to explain this to us, but I mean, I don't really know how you could do that. That's a little bit of a minor issue I have. But overall, this is an amazing movie, and this is an easy 9 out of 10. This is true cinema. Now let's review Barbie. This is I gotta tell you, the Barbie movie is fantastic. I think the visuals, I think everything about this movie pops. It is spectacular. It is amazing. I really gotta talk about the set design. The fact that they really make this seem like a real Barbie land, with the real toys and all that stuff, is spectacular. It is stupendous. I can't give enough props to the team that made Barbie Land possible. I feel like I'd actually be there, even though it was supposed to be like for an actual toy. They made it for me, but every time Ryan was on screen, ooh, he made it amazing. It's the Barbie movie. I don't know what you expected from this. But I will say this with the message about, like feminism and womanhood and all that stuff. I will admit it is a little bit, it beats you over the head a little bit. I think it's a great message, and I have no problem with what they're trying to, achieve with the goal for this movie. I just feel like it's told to us a little bit too much. Like, basically, at the third act, patriarchy has been said 900 fucking times. And I'm not saying, like, like, it's a bad message. I'm just saying maybe a little bit of subtlety, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of letting the audience pick up on it, you know what I mean? Instead of going like, we need to stop the patriarchy. We need to take it down, you know what I mean? But, it's not bad, but I feel like they could have made it just a little bit more subtle. And with some other flaws in the movie that I just kind of noticed a little bit was I kind of feel like once they got to the real world, it kind of fell apart. Not like to where it ruined the movie or anything, but I just kind of feel like there's a little bit of I don't know, because they're just once they get to the real world, there's like a little too many plot lines going on in this movie, because you have, the story being Barbie, she thinks of death, so she goes to the real world to help her owner. And my thing with this is that we have this really beautiful mother and daughter relationship, but it's completely kind of forgotten or just rushed, because we have Ken with the patriarchy, then we have Will Ferrell for some reason. He's good, but I just feel like he wasn't needed, I guess, because they have a whole Mattel subplot going on with Will Ferrell and the boys at the board, and I'm like, why were they here? You know what I mean? Because I really feel like this movie could have done without, them. And honestly, I don't think it would have affected the story at all, because this movie really is built upon Ken and Barbie, and I just feel like Mattel, like those guys, just kind of, I don't want to say ruined, because they did just taken more time with Barbie, with her character. It would have been so much better, because there's this amazing scene with no words where she, she's just sitting on this bench, just contemplating life, and she sees this touching scene. I just wish there was more stuff like that in this movie. And I'm not saying it should have been like fully emotional. I'm like, I love the comedy in this movie. I just feel like they just directed more of that comedy into just more into, Barbie and Ken specific. With the whole Ken thing is like, so Ken, he learns about, the patriarchy, and then goes back to Barbie Land before, Barbie does. And my thing is like, so they're all brainwashed, and I'm like, how was he able to do that? You know what I mean? Like, they just kind of gloss over it. That we're just supposed to just believe that he just automatically did it, before Barbie came. And I'm like, are they not going to tell us or whatever? I don't know. Also, another problem is like with Ken is because all the Kens don't have any roles or jobs in Barbie Land, and are just seen as like people for, just to get the attention of Barbie. And my thing is like, Ken actually did have like real jobs and roles. I looked it up. He really did. He was like a dentist or a doctor. I don't know. I'm just going to put other pictures on the screen to show you that he actually did stuff. I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit weird that they just kind of glossed over it, because I feel like this movie wants to have his cake and eat it too, because they reference all of these like obscure or like canceled Barbies, and I'm like, did you guys like forget about that? I don't know. It's not a huge issue, obviously, because that's not really like what the movie's about, but I just kind of thought that was weird. But overall, this movie is pretty good. This is what movies need to be: more creative, more weird, because I just feel like we haven't seen a movie like this in years. Just something that's balls off the wall and fully creative. And Greta Gerwig, she was amazing in this. She is a great director, and I can't wait to see more of her work. I'm gonna give this movie like an 8 out of 10. Not perfect, but goddamn, I'll see you at the Malibu Beach, baby. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.
They're kenning all over the place. They're kenning all over each other. They're kenning everywhere. And they're kenning so hard that they're gonna ken themselves blind.